Today's episode is going to talk about sharing your blog content on your Instagram and best practices to do so. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. As always, before we get started, I want to take a few moments to highlight Up in My Business's show sponsor, Jane App. Jane is a clinic management software and EMR designed to help you run your clinic and prevent no-shows. One of the most common reasons for no-shows is forgetfulness, so bolstering your communication is key to helping your clients show up for scheduled appointments. With Jane, you can create effective reminders that include appointment details and clear instructions on how to cancel and reschedule. You can also choose between a text, email, manual phone call, or a mixture of all three reminders depending on what works best for your clients. You'll love not having to remind your clients, and they'll love getting a little nudge about when their appointment is. If you're curious to learn more, head to jane.app/payments to book a demo with a member of the Jane team. You can also use my code LEX1MO, again it's LEX1MO, over at jane.app/start for a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account. Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. I'm Lex, the host of Up in My Business, of course. Hi. If you're new here, welcome. If this is you, if you're returning back for another episode, words are clearly hard. Thank you so much for coming back. I am super excited this week. Personal business updates, really kind of quick, I guess. Personal updates, the only thing I really wanted to share was that we played in a volleyball tournament yesterday. It was super fun, but also we didn't win, so that's kind of unfortunate. But it was definitely a good day, had a lot of fun in the tournament, and we played pretty well. I will say that we played what we call fours, and we're used to playing twos. So I have never played fours, and in indoor you play sixes. So anyway, never played fours. So the group of four of us really had to figure it out, and the first game was bad. So we left that one in the past, but the first game was pretty bad. Just figuring out like how to actually play fours. And then from there, it was pretty good. So really happy with how we turned it around, but safe to say that it was fun. It was definitely decent weather, not too hot, not too cold. The sand wasn't too hot because that's always something that kind of gets hard at like 11-ish. The sand gets really warm if it's been sunny all morning. So because it was overcast, it was great. So it was fun. We were Notorious DIG. We had what was I going to say? Oh, we had the t-shirt, and then we had jewelry. So Shantae had ordered like gold jewelry off of Amazon, and then we had crowns, and she surprised us with the crowns because it just obviously it fits with the photo that we used for inspo. So it was great. It was fun. Had a lot of fun, and now we get to maybe do it again at some point. I don't know, but it was fun because we got to play in a women's net, and it was 3 guys on our team. It was 3 women, one man. And it's fun because we have to actually play on a women's net, whereas typically it's 1 woman, 3 guys on I think it's actually a co-ed net. Maybe it's a men's net. But anyway, that doesn't sound fun to me. That just sounds like the woman gets to get pounded with men's volleyball like slams, and I'm not really into that. So they hit way too hard, and you're asking to like lose a tooth in my opinion, but I digress. So that's really it for the personal stuff. We're going away. It's the 6th right now, so I feel like we're going away so soon. I think it's like next week. I think it is next week. We're leaving to go to Pennsylvania to visit Shantae's family, and then but summer is doing really, really good. Summer's going really, really well. Happy with all of the fun stuff we're doing, and then taking some time off of work, if you will. So really happy about that. As far as business stuff, Blogging Bootcamp sold out. I limited it to 30, I believe it was 36, ended up being 36 seats. And that sold out. So Blogging Bootcamp is no longer open for enrollment. But if you want access to the recording, as long as you're on my email list, you'll be able to grab that. You also can get access to the recording on my website whenever it is live. So no worries on that. Yeah. So let's go into, I'm trying to think, is there any other business stuff I wanted to talk about? I don't think there is. I think that was it. That was all I had at my head. Okay. So as far as, the episode goes, on the line with Blogging Bootcamp, all I wanted to talk about today, and like I said, we're only 6 minutes and I'm doing great today. I'm going to keep it really short because I wanted to talk about essentially how to share a blog on Instagram. So I know that it can be kind of confusing. Like how should I do this? How can I make this shareable? Because we want to share our content when we publish it. However, the first and foremost, Instagram and Google are not friends. So sharing your content on Instagram, realistically, the only reason you're doing it is to get someone to go to your blog so that you get more views of that blog and more traction, more visibility of that blog. But by posting it on Instagram, it's not going to help your SEO directly. Okay. So all indirect. Someone clicks through to go to your blog post to read it. That increases the traffic on the blog, but it's not going to increase it just because it's existing as a post on Instagram. So it doesn't directly change anything. Now, in relationship to that, we also want to think about how people are consuming content on Instagram versus a blog. So first and foremost, with a blog post, people are assuming it's going to be long because it's long form content, right? So with long form content, what we're going to be doing is giving them long form written content broken up in a way that's easy to read, but still it's long form content. On Instagram, you're typically giving people quick hits, and it's always great to have quick hits in the post. So this is why I don't recommend you take the blog photo that you have and say, new blog, go read it. And then you can't link in your Instagram post. You can do ManyChat and say, comment blog to get the latest blog to your inbox. I guess you could do that. But for me, I would not just post the blog cover on Instagram. I would give people something. So for instance, let's just do an example. And this is exactly how I would recommend people share on Instagram when they write a blog. Inside of a blog, you typically can yield, maybe 4 or 5 Instagram posts from one blog, because you have lists, you have bulleted lists, numbered lists, but then you also have definitions, you have a breakdown of a process. Blogs don't have to be one Instagram post. It can be 4 to 5 typically. And when we think about that, it's very easy to just, take the cover photo and post it on Instagram and say, go read it. Instead, my biggest suggestion to people is to take the blog and break it up into sections that can then become different Instagram posts. So take a list, take the definition, make that an Instagram post, however you see fit. It can be a reel, it can be a square, it can be a quote, whatever. However fits your brand, whatever you typically share on Instagram. Make the post, make the caption. Obviously, you want the value in the post itself. And then also in the caption, you can have whatever you want to have. And then you can tell people, if you want to read more about this, I wrote a blog about blah, 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 blah. Go check it out. And then you can link away. Just tell them to go to your link in your bio and they can go read the blog. Or you can say comment whatever using ManyChat to receive the blog directly to your inbox. Now, what does that do? One, you're still giving value to people on Instagram. So even if someone never goes and checks out the blog, you're still giving them value, right, on the platform that they're already on. And two, you're giving them a way to read more if they want to With ManyChat, you're obviously making it super simple. If you share it in your stories, and you can also say, read more about this topic here, and then you can link to the blog. So that makes it easy as well. So the reason that we would do this instead of just using a blog post to create one post is because realistically, like let's squeeze all the juice out of the orange. We don't need to have one post for this blog post. Let's make multiple. Cool. So if you're someone that struggles with, or who struggles with content, you can have more than one post out of one blog post. So lots of hard work on the blog post leads to 4 to 5 Instagram posts. Amazing. And then you can still link to the blog in the Instagram post / mention the blog in the Instagram post. 2, you're providing people value and what they're looking for in both places, whether it's on your blog or on your Instagram post. And if you've been listening for quite some time, this makes sense because if you think backwards, I have talked about this before, where if you want to start blogging, I would love for people to combine Instagram posts together, right? Before they write a blog, because 5 Instagram posts are typically good for one blog post because you're writing enough about one topic where you can make it a blog post. So it works both ways. We don't have to create one thing and then share it. So again, just to make sure I run it through, we publish a blog on our website. We don't take the cover photo of the blog and put that as a post on Instagram with a link or a mention of the blog. Instead, let's take something out of the blog that you talk about, make a post about that, and then reference the blog in the caption and tell people if you want to read more, either comment, whatever, if you're using ManyChat, and you can send them the link to the blog post, or you can tell them, I wrote a blog post about this. It's in my link in bio. Go read it. So that's really like what I suggest to share blog posts on your Instagram in the most efficient and effective way as possible. So if you're in Blogging Bootcamp, you will hear more about this on Tuesday, the day that Blogging Bootcamp is live. And if you are interested in learning all the things about blogging and sharing and what have you, then that will be ready for purchase. I feel like I'll have it ready to go. I don't know. I don't want to put myself on the hook here, but maybe by the end of the week, we'll see. I'm still undecided if I'm going to break it up and cut it into sections and put it in Kajabi, or if I'm just going to put chapters. I'm not sure. So we'll see. But I'm super excited for it. So if you're there, if you're coming, let me know. I'd love to hear from you if you have any specific questions. I'll be sending out an email about that as well, but would love to answer any specific questions you have. I'm just super, super pumped to run this on Tuesday and share little tidbits like this that can help make your content creation process easier, and also just to squeeze more juice out of the orange, especially for posting this long form content on our blog and then putting it on Instagram. We'll just do it in the most effective ways possible. So, all right, that's all I have for you. This must be a record as far as length goes, but thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next week.